Okay, that looks better. Hi, and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos, I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a 100% free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. These videos are unscripted and give you a chance to take a behind-the-scenes look at the unfiltered, methodical side of software development. For more information on AnyRPG, be sure to check out AnyRPG.org, where you can find documentation on the engine, links to the full source code at the official GitHub repository, and downloadable versions of AnyRPG Alpha, a free game designed to showcase the features of the AnyRPG engine. If you'd like to see more of this type of content in the future, be sure to like the videos, subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, or just leave a message in the comments letting me know what you'd like to see. In today's video, we'll be continuing the creation of a Unity package for export. And what we need to do basically is create sort of a new UI, because we have this UI here, which we don't own. It's a third-party UI. And we're going to make something pretty much exactly similar to it. I mean, the guy put a tutorial on YouTube saying, hey, here's how to make exactly this thing that I made. But we're going to make it a little more customizable than it is. So one of the things I've been wanting to do for a while is make the colors in the UI customizable. So to do that, we'll be using GIMP, the GNU image manipulation program, free image editing software. And we'll basically just be making like white versions of everything. So let's see, like this, for example, we need to make an example panel frame. So 2000 by 1000 and transparent background. So we'll go File, New, 2000 by 1000. And fill with transparency. Okay. Hold down Control, mouse to zoom out. And then let's see what we've got here. So if I go Show in Explorer for the existing panel frame, and then I open with GIMP, and just zoom in and take a look at this. It looks like, how many pixels wide is that? 10 pixels wide. Okay, so we want a 10 pixel border basically on our image. So what I can do to make that happen is I think I can go to Image, Guides, New Guide, horizontal position 10, Image, Guides, New Guide, vertical position 10, Image, Guides, New Guide. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just going to try it. No, that doesn't work. I was kind of hoping that would put it at the other side. Oh well, we know this is a 2000 pixel image, so that makes it nice and easy. We can go Image, Guides, New Guide, and put it at 1990 on the vertical, and then Image, Guides, New Guide, and put it at horizontal, and now we've got a nice border there. And we're going to just create a new layer because we still want to keep this transparent background. So just hit the plus there. This layer, exactly the same basically. We're going to call this the outline layer. And we'll use the fill tool here. And we just want to fill this entire layer with white. Is that going to work? No. Okay. What I actually want to do is I want to make this box snap to the guides, and then I want to go select invert, and then I want to grab the color tool and paste. Is it going to let me? No. Okay, there we go. Just had to be zoomed in farther. Okay, perfect. So now I have a nice white outline basically. So let's look at this. Zoom in. I think it's got a little bit of a shadow in the original image, and we've got like a little bit of a blur right here. So what we can do is we'll create a new image, or I mean a new layer. Whoops, that was a layer group. Delete that. New regular layer, and this layer is going to be called should I call it again? I don't know, just like corner fade. And we'll put the corner fade underneath the outline. We want the outline on top. And so for the corner fade, what we'll do is grab a paintbrush. We are going to move the paintbrush size down a little bit like that. And select none. And then we want to take the brush and set the hardness down. Increase the size to about 1,000. Almost. Okay. So actually that's not too terrible. I wonder, let's just remove that, and I'm just going to pull the hardness down here. I don't know if that's exactly what I want or not. Turn the force down a little bit. There we go. That's what I wanted. I wanted the force. Okay. So just Control Z. Up the force a little bit. And we want to up the radius a little bit too. Okay, perfect. There we go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. All right. So now we've got like a sort of a nice little corner highlight there. And that's, I think that's actually pretty good. So then let's save that. And we'll put it in our directory along with all this stuff here. Just make a new folder called raw images. And this is where I'll put our XCF files with all the layers and stuff. So this one is called, what was that other one called that we opened up again? The panel frame. So panelframe.xcf looks good. Save that and file, export that as panelframe.png. Yeah, good. And in fact, we're just going to call that AnyRPG panel frame. save the gamma. I think I want to save the background color too. Okay. And so now we want to import that into Unity. So in the engine, under images, under UI, import new asset, import the panel frame here. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, no, that didn't work. So alpha is transparency. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay, good. Yeah, okay. So let's go back to the modern UI image version of this and just see exactly what settings we've got here. So we have sprite, single, tight, bitmaps, no compression. Wow, the initial level is 16. Okay. All right, and so on this one, we want to do the same thing. So sprite, single tight center, yeah. Do I really need to generate a bitmap? I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. And I want to 9 slice this as well. So how do I slice this? I'm not sure. Honestly, I think maybe that might work. I don't know. I guess I'll have to test this. I thought there's like a way we could like just slice, but no. Custom outline? No. Okay. There's no sliced here, is there? No. Huh. Okay. I thought I could slice it from in there. All right, so then what we want to do basically is replace references to that other panel frame with this panel frame. And I want this to be customizable through, like, basically I don't want anyone who has to replace this to have to go in and replace it everywhere in the code. So what I want to do here is make it an option. So I will call it AnyRPG panel frame. So let's go into the system configuration manager, and UI, make it a serialized field, private, sprite, default, UI, panel frame. Save that. And then grab the panel frame, set that as our default. And then I want color customizability too. So we'll make a color. Default UI color. And let's see. We'll just set it to yellow like that for now. Apply that to the game manager prefab. All right, and then I believe the current panel frame is used in these highlight button prefabs. So let's open the prefab. And we'll see if we can find that image there. Okay, this is button frame wide, which was 1400 by 300. So let's go look at that button frame wide. Show that in Explorer. Button frame wide, open it in GIMP. Okay. So let's see, this is probably the same thing. Let's zoom in and just see. There's like a little bit of fade off at the end there, but yeah, it's same thing, basically 10 pixels. And then it's got like these things in the corner, basically like a transparent line there. So 1400 by 300, okay. So let's make a new image then. Yeah, 1400 by 300, sure. And make some guides. I wonder if I can like just snap this. What's my snapping? Actually, that's not bad because it says the position is already 10 pixels by 10 pixels, so it already has like some sort of snap. Oh no, I see. Whoops, that was just telling me where my mouse was. Golden sections. No, that's not what I want. Okay, well, we can just go ahead and, oh yeah, right, okay, there we go. Let's see, so looking down there, maybe adding guides would have been quicker. That's 10. Wow, that's total, that's like a game of, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna add guides. I just don't have like the dexterity for that there, so new guide horizontal at 290. New guide at 10. New guide vertical 10. New guide vertical at 1390. Okay, that's better. Now it'll snap for me. I want to make a new layer. Transparency. Invert the selection. Hold down Control, zoom in a bit. Fill that with white. Actually, and you know what else? The background? We want to actually remove the background. You know what I want to do? I'm gonna make this new one new background. Actually, can I edit that and just set the background to transparency? No, I guess not. I don't know if there's a GIMP tool. GIMP is definitely not my specialty. So let's see. I think maybe the eraser, if I can find the eraser. Right, let's try selecting none. Removing that. No, okay. Erase to background or transparency. And let's see, can we pull that down? So, no, that I guess doesn't set the opacity of the level. Okay. Well, there is another way quicker way to do this rather than trying to figure that out. New background. And it's filled with transparency. And then we just take the old background and we delete it. There we go. Now we've got a transparent background. Okay, good. So this corner fade, we're going to rename that. Can we rename it? Yes, okay. And this is called outline. And then we'll make a new layer, fill that with transparency, call this corners, set that underneath the outline, and then let's see, we want to make a straight line. So what's the best way to do that? Straight line, I guess. Yeah, apparently I don't understand how this brush works. Okay. So what's going to be the best way to do this here? We can create and rotate. Let's see. Let's duplicate this layer, the outline copy, and then let's see, can we rotate it a little bit? Yeah, we can. All right. 45 degrees. And then can I drag it? Okay. And then can I erase everything maybe? Yeah, okay. I guess maybe I can make that a little bigger. Oh, okay, I see how that's working now. All right. Yeah, all right. Okay, good. Now I've got something across the corner there. And let's duplicate the outline again. And then we'll rotate it again. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then we'll set the eraser and just go erase all that stuff there. And then we'll take this one and merge that down, rename this layer to corners, delete the old corners layer, move the corners down under, edit that again and actually name it corners this time. And then all we need to do now is just set the opacity 12, maybe a little more, maybe like 20. Okay, yeah. Now we got a sort of transparent effect there. Perfect. Okay, so this was to replace the old button frame wide image. Okay, so this can be, first we're gonna save it as button frame wide. And then we can export it into the UI images, AnyRPG button frame wide. Saving the gamma looks good. Okay. So now we have two of the images we need. The other thing we'll need if we look at this is the highlight, which is button highlighted. So this is a 512 by 128 image, which is a fade. So going back into GIMP, we'll make an AnyRPG button highlighted. So file, new, 512 by 128. And make sure I actually remember to have transparency in the background. Good. Then we'll do a gradient. To about there, I think. Let's just take a look at that existing button here. So we want to click on button highlighted. Let's see there. Right click that, show in Explorer, look for button highlighted, go into open with GIMP, and compare that to ours. Yeah, that's pretty much the same. I mean, the colors are backwards, but the fades maybe a little longer. I want to fade it all the way to the end. And yeah, linear is right. Yeah, okay. You know what? That's great. So then, ah, that's better. Okay. Yeah, background to alpha. All right, and then if that's the case, actually, we can pull this a little past here. Let's make those look almost exactly the same. Uh, hmm. I wonder, is there a way, let's see, offset. That's better. Okay. I think that, wait, no, that's not what I want to do. I actually, no, I don't want an offset. Gradient. Hmm. That's still not the same gradient. Because this one's like, this one has a stronger gradient towards the back, but there's no point at which it's really a solid color, I don't think. Actually, maybe it is. I think it's actually a solid color up to about there, which is kind of a little bit more what this one is now. Okay, and then if we pull it out just a little bit more, you know what, I think that's pretty good. No, that other one's a little more solid on the back there. Oh, wait, what if we turn down the opacity a little bit and pull it out a little more? Nah, you know what? I think I'm just gonna be good with it like that. I think. Click, select, drag, move. Huh. What am I supposed to select and drag there? Click, select, drag, move, shift, click, extend selection. Okay, you know what? That's good. I don't think I'm going to get much better than that. Yeah, so let's export this. Actually, just save it. And we're going to save this as button highlighted. And then file, export as AnyRPG button highlighted, making sure to save the gamma and background color. All right, good. And then let's see what else we need to do. Not much, I don't think. Okay, so we're going to import those now. So we need to go into UI here and import new asset. button frame wide. Alpha is transparency, apply. Sprite 2D and UI. Sprite 2D and UI. Okay, so let's go into the editor here. And I think we need to set these borders. And then for this one, it shouldn't matter. So then just checking the settings on button highlighted. It's just regular, yeah. Alpha is transparency. We have maps, but that shouldn't really make a difference. Okay, good. So we'll take the highlight and we will replace it. You know what, just a second. Let's grab this color right here. Because I want this to sort of remain for now. Let's see which color that is. 254, 174, 2, okay? And then change that out for AnyRPG button highlighted. It still looks pretty much exactly the same. Very cool. Okay. I think that's good. All right. And then button frame wide can be changed out for AnyRPG button frame wide. And that looks a little different. But I think that's actually working properly. I think it's keeping the border a solid 10 pixels all the way around. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. Before, what it was doing, it was shrinking the border in relation to the fact that this image was shrunk by like 300% or something like that. So that's cool. Yeah, very cool. All right. So that was one button changed. So let's go try to change the other buttons. So if we go into our engine, where are we here? UI prefabs. And buttons right there. Okay. So let's open the ability book button. And this is a very different one. What we're actually interested in is the highlight buttons. So we've got this 200 by 50 button here. And change that for AnyRPG button highlighted. Right. So let's see, the highlight button has a reference to its highlight image. And And since we need to be able to set colors in the System Configuration Manager, what I want to do is go back to the highlight button 353 by 88 that I had. Look at this color right here, copy it, and put it into the System Configuration Manager. Looks a lot oranger in here, but okay. And apply that to the Game Manager. Then what we want to do is we want to go into the highlight button code, and in the start method we want to change the color of the highlight image. Okay, so let's do that. Control AKF to fix the formatting. We don't have a start method here, it doesn't look like. No, okay. So we'll put a start method in. Public void start. And if system configuration manager.myInstance does not equal null, then if highlight image does not equal null, highlight image dot color equals system configuration manager dot myInstance dot whatever I named that color, default UI color. And did I give that a property yet? No, not yet. Okay, so default UI color gets a property, and rename it to match our naming scheme here. And set the color. Okay, that's good. That will set our background color properly on all highlight buttons in the game. And then let's just change the rest of the highlight buttons. So we have expandable highlight button, and oh, interesting. This one's actually got the animator on it, but we don't want that. And this image should be AnyRPG button highlighted. And this doesn't really matter what we set this to. And let's see, we have button frame wide design 2. So let's see what the difference is with button frame wide design 2 is 1400 by 300. button frame wide design 1 is 1400 by 300. Let's go show that in Explorer and open that in GIMP. And let's just look at what the difference is, because honestly these look like pretty much identical to me. Hmm. Maybe. Okay, I see. I think in number 2, this little highlight here is just a little less strong. Yeah. I don't really care about that right now. I don't need to make another button that's like almost completely identical to it. So we're just gonna swap that out for button frame wide. And then we can edit this one. Change the color out for button highlighted. Change this one. Button frame wide. Then go into the 200 by 50. Looks like we already changed that one. Change that out for AnyRPG button frame wide. Actually, I kind of like the idea of keeping these at white, because it's going to be actually like way more obvious to me if the color setting isn't working. Whoops. If they're white. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that one looks okay. And swap that out for button highlighted. And swap that out for button frame wide. Swap that out for button highlighted. You know what I wonder? Is there a way? Because what would actually be like way easier? Can I like replace references? Man, that would be nice if I could do that. Just like right click on that and just like, yeah, replace all references to this with something else. Okay. No such luck though. Alright, so click up here, highlight button. That almost seems like the kind of thing I could do through like a script. Just like find all images in the project or something and replace them. Alright. Skill trainer highlight button, swap that out. Swap that out. Okay. There's going to be like a heck of a lot more highlight buttons, I think. Like I'm pretty sure actually all of our buttons are highlight buttons by now. So like in this main menu, for example, this play button, button frame wide. And the orange settings button. Yeah, button frame wide. The movement button is actually a variant of, oh good, of a highlight button 353 by 88, so that's good. General button variant, same deal. Okay, good. Let's see, exit game button is not though. Combat button is a variant of that, so that's good. Alright, and then like all these guys here are just video button, right? I keep on forgetting. I have to go investigate that sometime, but there's something wrong with my video button. Okay. I don't think, yeah, vendor button is not a highlight button. That's good, because those are all variants. It's pretty much just the non-variants that I need to fix here. So which one was this? This was the take all button. And skill trainer skill, yeah, I think so. Or not. Skill trainer highlight button, there we go. Right, skill trainer skill I think is an old one. I don't think I even use that anymore. But I will go through and clean that up later, I think. So button highlighted, and that's already set to button frame wide. Okay, that's good. Skill book button. That's not a highlight button. Reward icon is not a highlight button. I think recipe is the old one, and I think we actually use a different recipe now. Let's see, quest tracker quest. Also not a highlight button. Quest log highlight button is very likely one. Did we already change that? Yeah, we did. Okay, good. We already would have changed that. I don't think we use any images in the on-off buttons. Mail button is a prefab that's made up of the highlight, so that's good. Let's see, load game button. Load game button has a highlight line, okay. Keybind slot doesn't use anything. Okay, this one does. Highlight line. Button highlighted and button frame wide. Interaction panel quest is not one. Interaction panel option is not one. Faction button doesn't look like it is either. Don't think currency panel button is. I think we already did crafting panel highlight button. These are all variants. Combat log text, definitely not. Bag button is not. Ability book, no, those aren't either. Okay, cool. I don't know, that might actually be all the buttons. So let's go to File, Save. And then what we want to do here is look in our Slim UI here. And I don't know if this will work or not, but we can try select dependencies. Let's see what comes up. If anything, nothing came up. Okay, let's see. Okay, find references and scene. Maybe that'll work. Okay, main settings menu window has yeah, a bunch of buttons on it that aren't in the prefabs list. Makes sense. It's actually technically the main settings menu panel. Whoops, I think I opened up the wrong one. There we go. Okay. So we have a whole pile of buttons in here. I'm just going to search by type for image, and we'll just go through, replace those wherever we can. So actually we'll have to make our own versions of these as well. Okay, so panel frame we have. I guess we'll have to make one of those as well. Swap that out for a panel frame. Swap that one out for a panel frame. Same thing with that. Swap that out for the new panel frame. Drop down arrow, that's interesting. And item check mark. we can swap out here. And button highlighted. Swap that out for hours. Button frame wide. Swap it out. Swap out the button highlighted. Swap out this button frame wide. And another button highlighted. And another button frame wide. Another button highlighted. Another button frame wide. And another button highlighted. Another wide button. Another highlighted. Wide frame. Highlighted. Wide frame. Highlighted. Wide frame. Wide frame. And that's it. Okay, good. So I'm actually interested to see, I'd like to do right now just a little test and see how much of those we actually managed to get swapped out successfully. So let's go and select all of our scenes. Okay, good. And now select dependencies. And then let's see if Unity finds any other highlight lines or highlight buttons that we may have missed. Okay, just waiting for this list to come up here. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, they definitely exist somewhere still. So we've still got some button frame wides and some button highlighteds. So let's keep looking. What happens if I go find references in scene for button highlighted? Nothing. All right, so I don't know, we may have reached that point where we need to start playing the hunt for references that Unity tells us exists but won't show us game. And unfortunately, like, what would be really cool is if, like, I could just replace this. It seems like the obvious option to have here. Let's look over for the button frames too. So if we look at button frame wide and button frame wide design 2, and we go find references in scene. Okay, well that's not bad. Button BTN exit, okay. Well, the good news is we found a bunch of them and lots of these BTN exits, so we can just change that all at the same time. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. Suddenly our list disappeared and got replaced with a different list, so let's try this again. Select find references in scene. Oh, okay. So we have a much bigger list suddenly. So just looking up through here to try to, whoa, what's that? Okay, button frame wide. Button frame wide. Oh, right, our combat log window. Yeah, okay. So change those up. Right, of course, because we have those buttons on the combat log window. Yeah, okay. So let's keep going here. Oh, we actually applied a prefab no title auto resize window. Sure. Unity keeps on slowly freezing up here. If I just click revert, nope, that's awfully odd because, oh, there's the image type sliced. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of weird because if I go apply to prefab no title auto resize window, but here's the messed up thing, like when you click revert, it should revert it to whatever the underlying prefab is, right? Because bold means it's like overridden. Oh, this isn't bad. No title bottom left frame. Here we go. So the no title auto resize window actually does have this set on it, but this is also showing up as an override. But if I go to revert, it doesn't revert it to what the no title auto resize window has. It reverts it to that weird thing and then shows it as normal, and then is freezing up and won't let me click on it. So just odd. Anyway, we'll set it manually even though it's already been set. that. I guess I need to keep the image type as sliced. I'm right clicking, nothing's happening. Okay, apply that. Apply that. I know they're already applied on the base prefab, but I just don't like seeing bold things, because to me bold things make me really paranoid that when I export this or create a new item or something that I'll lose those settings. So let's keep looking here. Bank window. So I guess no, the bank panel doesn't have any of those wide frames. Let's just keep looking. Okay. Save that. And let's select, how about just regular button frame wide, and find references in scene. See if we come back with anything this time. Yeah, I guess we still didn't fix it all. How about button frame wide design too? What about that? Find references in scene. Okay. So, like, there's clearly no reference in here, but maybe something in there references something else. Which references it? Okay. Let's try that again. Find references in scene. Yeah, that's like just retarded because it's clearly not on there. So we get to play the search around and guess where the reference is game. Well, let's look at the ability book panel. Open that prefab up. Look at the ability book button. Nothing there. Look at the description background. Nothing there. Look at the title. Nothing there. Look at the description. No references there. So I honestly don't know why that's like even on the list, or how we would get anywhere from there that would indirectly take us to that button. So let's see, let's go to the character preview panel. And that's actually not what we want. We actually want like the character window. Character panel canvas, character panel window, character panel. Yeah, these guys over here. Okay, on the right hand side of them, we've got button bars with buttons. There we go. Okay, button highlighted. Now we're on track. AnyRPG, button highlighted. AnyRPG button frame wide. And I am going to rename that actually to the character panel reputation button, and I'm going to throw it in there and make it into a prefab. And I'm going to do the same thing for all these, because basically I want all those buttons to be prefabs so I don't have to play the go hunt for them game in the future. So button highlighted, and then on the button, button frame wide. And then this is going to be the character panel achievements button, and it needs to be a prefab too. And then let's do the same thing for the skills button. So button highlighted and button frame wide. Then this gets to be the character panel skills button and made into a prefab. It's odd that the reputation and achievements one look like that, or reputation and skills look like that, but achievements looks normal-ish. I wonder if that has to do with just differences in color. Who knows? Okay, well, anyway, button highlighted, AnyRPG, button highlighted, button frame wide, AnyRPG button frame wide. This gets to be the character panel currency button, and pull that into buttons. Okay, good. So those are all pointing to the right images now. So I wonder if there's anything else. Let's look at the character creator panel. And it actually looks like yeah, like the character creator panel is missing a whole pile as well. So we have the appearance button. And we can swap that for button frame wide. And I will change that to the character creator appearance button and make that into a prefab as well, in case we need it in the future. Change change that to button highlighted. Change this to button frame wide, and change that to the character creator colors button. Make a prefab out of that. Change that to button highlighted. Change that to button frame wide. And let's see, under here we've got some more buttons. So this is a button frame wide. And we can change this to character creator btn cancel. And character creator btn save. And then in the middle we don't have any buttons, but on the right hand side we do. So the hair label has a button highlighted. Yeah, and technically this is actually a button. I think hair label. Which one of these is a button? Because you have to click on one of them. This is a highlight button, but it needs an actual button component. Or does it? Does our highlight button just directly accept clicks without a button component? Yeah, I think that's what it was. We actually do. No, but then it wouldn't do anything, because this is just generic button stuff. So it must be... Oh, right. Yeah. Now, of course, I remember. Hair, eyebrows, and beard are always there all the time. That's why they're not buttons. Okay. So anyway, eyebrows, label, highlight line, button highlighted. And beard appearance options, beard label, button highlighted. And what do we have under colors options? Okay. We have more buttons. Okay, good. So highlight line can be changed. AnyRPG button highlighted. Button can be changed to button wide. And then this can be changed to character creator hair button, which goes under the prefabs buttons, not the scripts. And then the skin button can get changed as well. Button highlighted. Change change this button. Button frame wide. Skin button can be changed to character creator skin button and pulled into the buttons prefab folder. The eyes button can have its button highlighted swapped out as well. Set the button to the button frame wide. And then rename that to character creator eyes button. Make a prefab out of it. Go down to the sex options and male button and female button are both variants. Oh, of highlight button. Nice. Okay. So yeah, you know what I want? I want that to look white. Because then like I can actually tell if something's wrong. Okay, good. So basically, like if I can't find anything else in the code right now, another option is just like basically sort of play through the game and look at the UI and look like, hey, is there something that's yellow, basically. So let's look at the frames again. The character panel and the character creator makes sense. Combat log makes sense. I think the confirm cancel cutscene panel definitely, yeah, that's got some buttons on it. So button frame wide there, button frame wide here, and we'll have to come back at some point and change these buttons so that they can be yellow, like adding some sort of script to them. So this is the, let's see, cancel cut scene button no. Cancel cut scene button yes. And we'll pull those over into the prefabs as well, just so that we have as many prefab references as possible to buttons that use these things. And let's see what else we have. Back onto the contents, we had the confirm cancel cutscene. You know what, all of our confirmation, they very likely all still have references to that stuff. So button frame wide, button frame wide, confirm delete game button no. Confirm delete game button yes, make prefabs out of those. And let's see what else we had. Confirm destroy object. This is probably the exact same thing. Yep, got buttons there. And call this confirm destroy button no. Confirm destroy button yes. make prefabs out of those. And confirm new game. Has a new game panel. And yeah, we definitely have some buttons down there. And this is confirm new game button, no. Confirm new game button, yes. Grab both of those. I guess we can't pull two things at once into the make prefabs out of them. Nope, okay. Alright, and crafting window. I think, did we already change the crafting panel? That's an awfully good question. Because, yeah, there's a bunch of buttons there, and it looks like we don't have prefabs for them. So we'll grab all these highlight lines, change those to AnyRPG button highlighted. Then grab all the button lines and change that to button frame wide. And this can be craft button 138 by 34 is fine. Craft all button 138 by 34, also fine. Cancel button, also okay. Alright, good. So that was the crafting panel. Let's see. Nothing to do on the currency panel. Dialog panel, yeah, that's definitely got a button in it. Several of them, in fact. So we can swap out all of those with the AnyRPG button frame wide. And this is called dialog button continue, dialog button view quest, dialog button accept quest. Pull those all in, make prefabs out of them. Alright, and back to our frames. No, back to our contents. Dialog panel, exit menu panel. Okay. Exit game button, no. Exit game button, yes. Click on those, button frame wide. Change those out, make prefabs out of them. Back to our contents, exit to main menu panel, exit to main button, no, call that exit to main button, yes. Change both of those out for button frame wide. Pull those into our buttons. Okay. Go back to our contents. Faction change. I think we got a button down there as well. Yeah, we do, definitely. So this is faction change, btn confirm, button frame wide, over to our prefabs, make a button out of that. Go back to our contents, in-game main menu, let's take a look at that. Yeah, all those are buttons too, okay. And they all use the button frame wide, so we can swap all those out at the same time. But we will want to do in-game main menu names for all of them. And then make prefabs for all of them. Okay, and then go back to our contents. Our interaction panel doesn't have anything. Our keybind confirm panel does have one button, and this is a keybind cancel button. We can swap that out for AnyRPG button highlighted, and we can swap that out for AnyRPG button frame wide, and then we'll make a prefab out of that. Let's see, load game panel. Yes, we have a bunch of buttons down there on the bottom. So these can all be changed out for AnyRPG button frame wide. And then load game button return, load game button load, load game button new, load game button delete, and then make prefabs out of all those. Okay, good. And then go back to our contents and let's see, loot panel. I think, yeah, we already have a take all button. Interestingly enough, this button was an old one, I think. We don't need that anymore, so it's good to just get rid of it. Main menu panel. Okay, yeah, same deal. Our main menu panel needs all these swapped out with button frame wide. main menu play button, main menu settings button, main menu exit game button, and then make prefabs for all those. Okay, go back to our contents, main settings menu panel. Yeah, these are all white, so we did these already, I believe. Minimap has no buttons. Name change panel, I think, yeah, that has some buttons. So we'll change those out for button frame wide. And this is name change button no, name change button yes, and we'll make prefabs out of those. And go back to our contents. New game panel, we already did that. Player death panel, have not done that. Okay, so death button respawn, death button revive. Change those for our AnyRPG button frame wide and make prefabs out of them also. Player options panel. Oh wow, this is that's the old one. That was our old player death panel. Let's delete that because it's not used at all, so there's no point in keeping it around. And this is our play menu panel. And so we need to change all these for button frame wides. And call that play btn continue, play btn new game, play btn load game, and then make prefabs out of them. And then go back to our contents. Let's see, quest details area does not have buttons. Quest giver panel has two of them, accept and complete. So the two highlights can be changed for AnyRPG button highlighted. And then the two buttons can be changed for AnyRPG button frame wide. Alright, and then this becomes the quest giver accept button. And the quest giver complete button, and we will of course make prefabs out of those. And then we can go to the contents there. I believe we need the same thing in the quest log. We have a track button, which we are totally not using, so that's fine. But this abandoned button here needs its references swapped out. So change that, button frame wide. Alright, and this is, let's see, we'll call it quest log abandoned button. Make a prefab out of that. Go back to the contents. Quest tracker panel doesn't. Let's see, reputation book doesn't. Skill book doesn't, because we can't unlearn them. Skill trainer panel though may. Yeah, we have learn and unlearn. Okay, good. So this will become the skill trainer learn button. This will become the skill trainer unlearn button. Both of those highlights can be swapped out for button highlighted. Both of the buttons can be swapped out for button frame wide. And of course make prefabs out of those. Okay, good. System bar doesn't, Fender doesn't, XP bar doesn't. Okay. So basically that's all the panels in the entire game. So we've swapped out all those buttons now. So let's take another shot at this and see if I select all these guys again. And then I right click on them and go select dependencies. And then let's try to export package. Uncheck that. Okay, cool. We're doing a lot better now. We have just basically the button frame wide. We missed like one button frame wide, but the good news is basically that like I don't see the regular button frame on here anymore, and I don't see the highlight line on here anymore. So I think actually, let's see. Where am I going to find that last button? I think what I'll do is I'll just go through and I'll search for that last button offline and find it, because like for all I know I could spend like 30 minutes searching for it, just because of the fact that these dependencies can be a little hard to find. And then I think maybe I'll jump back online once I've found it and continue on, because we just have a couple more of those images to replace. We still do need to make like the corner images and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's good enough for now. We've replaced almost all the buttons in the UI. So as always, if you like this kind of content or you want to see more of it in the future, then subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, give these videos a thumbs up, or just leave a note in the comments telling me what you'd like to see. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time.